Client scared, model scared. No need to be scared, just gotta take it and do it. Look at him, he's running like crazy. This will be a deep implantation for a year and a half. Maybe even 2 years, we'll still have some left over. Our girl, upon closer examination, exhibits a significant amount of blood vessels and is fragile, thus making the task challenging. Hey everyone, my name is Yulia Donchenko and we're here on the Hanafi Colors Pigment channel together.
Yulia Donchenko, top master of permanent makeup, certified artist, trainer, founder of the International Academy Permanent Fox in Moscow and Krasnodar, multiple winner of championships, speaker and participant of professional congresses, exhibitions, conferences. Yulia is the author of her unique techniques of permanent makeup and 2 methodological manuals for masters. He is the founder of the Center for Laser Removal of Poor Quality Tattoos and Permanent Makeup.
Today we are going to be working in the eye zone, specifically in the space between the lashes. This region is quite delicate because not all masters at the start of their journey can work in this area or are more likely to be afraid, because after all, our eyes are a more sensitive and vulnerable area of the body that requires special care and expertise. The client is scared, the model is scared, no need to be scared, just gotta take it and do it. When working with the interforest space, you need to pay attention to the eye cut. That's important too. Seems like you're not stepping out into the most dynamic era. Why do you need an eye cut? But when a client comes to me with wide eyes, I can't squeeze myself in the middle because visually it will be an even rounder eye. If the eye cut is round, then my eyelash line will be done in one thickness, meaning it will be neat, thin, without any clumps in the middle. But if my eye shape is standard, not round or elongated, but just a regular classic eyelid, I have the ability to accommodate and make space for a small quantity right here at the tip, or accommodate and make space for it right here in the middle. And I always have a thin beginning, so this is about different types of implantation. So we have 3 types of interciliary space implantation. The first thing that suits all eye cuts is classic pigment implantation, when the thickness is completely uniform from start to finish. The second choice for implantation involves a thin starting point and a gradual thickening from the middle to the end, culminating in a stretched tip. We are simply pulling the eye visually a little bit. And the third type is when we have a thin beginning, a thin end, and we compacted the middle. We customize the options for every client by tailoring them to the overall morphology of their face and the structure of their eyes. Let's keep moving. Picking the right color is important too. What are we going to use in this case? Without a doubt, I am definitely going to make use of the Hanafi line of organic eye pigments for sure. No way am I taking black pigment. Why? Let me explain. Because the darker the pigment, the more it heals in cold, dark black and gray shades, and subsequently blue shades. The color immigration is present and we don't need it. The colder the shade of the face, the warmer the pigment, we should choose accordingly. Please remember, no matter which area you work in, eyebrows, lips, eyelids, the colder the body, the skin, the warmer the pigment you take. There are also auxiliary pigments, correctors, that help warm up any pigment. In this particular instance, in the case of Hanafi, it is a yellow and orange corrector. You have the option to utilize a drop or 2 of it as a warm-up. I personally prefer using mineral water as I find it quite enjoyable. And it is extremely important, also please bear in mind, we never mix pigments of different components together in one capsule. If you want to work beautifully and neatly and have every pigment in the skin work properly, first go through one component, one density, and then another, because here there are different weight categories for pigments. Let's ultimately commence the procedure. In this particular case, I will be utilizing a regular economy car that has a cost of up to 10,000 rubles. The car I'll use is an affordable option that falls within the price range mentioned. At the Hanafi store, you can purchase a wide variety of must-toy cars. This little car is a real workhorse and is in high demand among most mechanics. This small device with an eccentric, or for those unfamiliar, it's the stroke or the movement of the needle. In this little contraption, you can switch out the eccentric and put in whichever one suits you best. If we are discussing the zone of the century, it is crystal clear that the move should not be for showboating, which means it should not be a long move, a short move, or a combination of both. If you have a car, a long-legged one, no big deal, just increase the speed and quickly pass through this area. While we keep conversing, I will fetch anesthesia and numb your eyelids, because in this specific case, we need to utilize primary anesthesia for the procedure at hand. Mostly I utilize anesthesia and a tattoo artist. Not bad at all. All right, let us get down to business. First off, we apply some initial anesthesia to the eyelid area. This will immobilize our centuries, which is very good for us, and numb this area a little bit. We work on the surface, so it should not cause any pain. While our anesthesia is taking effect, we are applying 2 shades from the Hanafi organic pigment line specifically designed for eyelids, namely the 4th shade and the 3rd shade. Why did I acquire the tone data? Because they will appear extremely attractive and suitable for use when in a healed condition. For approximately 1.5 years, possibly even 2 years, we still have some leftovers, because it is quite a tight schedule, you know? And there should not be any gray shade, because it is not a black component, it is still the 4th shade, it is our darkest shade of brown, and it is crucial to maintain the integrity of the color palette. Completely bundled up, which is important for us. And thirdly, this is a completely unique pigment. This is the one I like because you can use it even up to the eyebrows, add it to some eyebrow shades, and in general you can use it for various purposes. We are opting for the 4th shade. We absolutely need to add some excitement to it. I mean, it appears completely black and all, but in actuality it is not black. It is a deep shade of brown. The 3rd one is going to be a bit lighter. It has been completed. I am going to insert a needle first to verify the flight. A very important point. When we work with the zone of the century, there shouldn't be a big blowout, because it will be a deep implantation, perhaps even impacting the hypodermis layer, which will lead to the color migrating to shades of gray, which is not required. In this case, I'll be using the Hanafi needle. I'll have a sharp sharpening L and size 35. I use 30 and 35 for their good pigment application. 30 has a kick due to the pigment application. What's in it for us means we'll quickly carry out this procedure, and here, there's no time to wait. We need to do it quickly, otherwise it will cause swelling, which won't be good for us. Switch it on. We'll move at around 4.5, 5 speed. Verifying for prompt departure. We do not make it excessively large. Absolutely fantastic. So if you take a closer look, we can observe that we have a rather vascular and delicate century on our hands. This job won't be easy. Well, I'm not surprised that I ended up choosing this specific model for myself. We don't seek easy paths. Listen up, this is crucial. Many craftsmen starting out face a stumbling block, so to speak. Yes, you can call it a lack of understanding of where to obtain what. That is an eye, it is twitching all over, tearing up. There is absolutely no difficulty in this, just remember to observe this movement closely. Here you go, so we absolutely do not pull in that manner. Here we go. Oops, my apologies. We are commencing our operations in the lash space, focusing on providing high-quality products and services to meet the needs of our customers. I'm starting from scratch. First, from the little cut. It's from the second to last 2 eyelashes. So, not from the edge itself, and just a little bit stepping back. The little needle window on my machine always looks up, and the machine is set as level as possible, so I won't make empty holes, but will implant the pigment neatly and beautifully, and the pigment delivery will be sufficient. I seized this eyelid because it is extremely quick. I seized him, and similar to, toiling intensively, I am descending, not fearful. Take note of the frequency with which I am in motion while remaining stationary. I have little short dashes, I also call them dotted. Here you can also take into consideration employing a zigzag stroke technique, which involves lifting up from the lower section of the eyelash growth and evenly spraying the product. Don't you dare throw away the lid no matter what. Once you've caught him, just go. Else tears will well up on the upper lid now. And that's it. And you can't proceed with the procedure. I have a difficult client. Due to the fact that the eyelid has a good blood supply, the skin is not very thick. Take a look, please, just a little bit worth delving into. You see this little red thing here? This is a tough job. Here's what she looks like. Let's go carefully to the very last eyelash that is growing on top. Due to the fair complexion of the girl, a significant residue will become instantly noticeable on her thick dark eyelashes and on areas of dark skin with high melanin and keratin content. However, the outcome will not be immediately visible as the skin will become denser, darker, and consequently require more passes. In order to achieve a remarkable outcome, it is important to be aware that you should not merely superficially address the issue, but rather delve deeper into it on multiple occasions, thereby enhancing your overall proficiency. Okay, when we proceed through the interciliary space once, we have the opportunity to acquire some cooling gel and then apply it to facilitate the growth of the eyelashes. Since our skin is injured, it's gonna sting a little, but not too bad. We try to apply it carefully so that it doesn't get into the eyes too much. As a beginner master, do you fear the cooling gel might burn your cornea or harm you? No worries. Prior to the procedure, apply a drop of tetracycline ointment under the lower eyelid. Close your eyes slightly to create a protective film, shielding against the cooling gel. Rest assured, you won't experience any burns. Feel confident and enjoy the procedure without concerns for eye safety. Stay safe and have an amazing experience. I also want to suggest a gel or ointment that can assist you in case you unexpectedly find yourself in an unpleasant situation. And still, after the procedure somehow, maybe you utilize a different gel, not this one, certainly it doesn't cause any burns, but there are secondary anesthesia gels, painkillers, which can still potentially cause a burn. In this case, after the procedure, you can get a little bit of ointment for the corner under the lower eyelid at the pharmacy, and please, it will definitely improve the situation and save the client from a burn. Let's continue. Let's dial our shade once more. Alright, let's simply turn a little bit in this direction. They turned it inside out like this. Look at him, he's just running like crazy, and we work our asses off. We just rapidly fixed it like this and proceeded. We are working with sluggish dotted strokes. We specifically chose a model that is not the simplest so that you know that this job can be done even on such a client. There shouldn't be any annoyance, no there shouldn't be, but if they suddenly appear somewhere, it's not a big deal. Undertaking this task on the vascular eyelid, on the delicate skin where hemoglobin predominates, poses a considerable challenge due to the intricacy and sensitivity involved. What to do in this case? You see, a bit of gum bleeding is starting to appear. In this case, it's only superficial and multiplied. No worries, we'll win this era, we'll win, that's it. At this point, we will numb it, apply cooling gel to this small eye so that it does not move during the procedure. Okay, let's proceed, shall we? I don't go all the way to the end because if the client suddenly wants to do an arrow later, the lash line should not be brought to the end point. Otherwise, the arrow will ultimately end up being droopy. Because when we carry out the arrow procedure, we start by pulling the guide from the last two eyelashes in a gentle manner. So we leave two eyelashes and bring this neat little arrow up, so please, think ahead. You never know what might happen in the future. Be prepared for any possibility. We need a correction in a month on the interforest space. A lot of customers wonder, do I need to do a correction in a month? Of course you need to, because in the end you'll only have about 50% left after a month. Let's proceed. Our third round will be more targeted, indicating that we'll fine-tune where necessary to ensure precision and effectiveness. Observe the number of strokes I make in a single location without, so to speak, exceeding the boundaries of my skin, you understand? So, like, my hair is short, not long, not fast. I have neat bangs that add a stylish touch to my overall look. The whole shebang should take a maximum of 40 minutes. It's generally not recommended to work in the sun for more than an hour and a half, because you'll start experiencing pigment rejection, swelling, and that's really not good. Check it out. Here I'm simmering. You see? I'm just doing these neat little strokes that create such a light haze. So I will have light, airy, beautiful eyelashes, no density, because you can see from the girl's appearance that there is no permanent makeup on her eyebrows, no permanent makeup on her lips. So, in life, things don't always turn out bright and colorful. We're in the home stretch now. We'll let the pigment develop on this little eye and move on to the second one, which should already be numbed under the gel. Let's open our little eye and take a look up. Well, she's a real beauty. I love to praise myself while working, and the model is already like, oh, I have something beautiful there. Great, let's keep going. It doesn't matter which side you start from. You can start from here. You can begin from this point. It does not matter. It is not that significant, truly. The main thing is to do a good job. The main thing is to stretch properly. You see, my movements, they're even a little bit out there. Away from myself, I make strokes, and I don't make them too wide like we can allow ourselves with eyebrows. When we work with the sensory and the lip area, our movements should be slower, the stroke should be shorter, and we should work in the skin. Many times in the identical place. Do not forget, this ruler is made of organic materials and is derived from living organisms. You have got to handle her with care. The remainder will be pretty good, so do not sweat it. Do not worry about it. It's always better to not finish your work and finish it during revisions than to mess it up and then, unfortunately, it will be difficult to fix something. Here we still need to adjust a bit and at the start. Keep checking yourself constantly during the process to ensure everything looks nice and tidy. Alright people, we've experienced a couple more iterations on the usual level of the lumbar sequence as a group. And now we can ultimately observe what we have got. Successfully accomplished it. We accomplished it, everyone. It took slightly more time than anticipated, but all in all, everything is satisfactory. My eyelids didn't even swell. Well, let's see what we've got going on here. Let's check it out. Look up. So, we can confirm whether we have the same eyelashes or not. And in general, we can simply check it by gently turning it outwards and looking at it closely to determine if they match. Okay, initially 2 eyelashes protrude calmly, unpainted, so all is well. Let's observe there. Here is the same. We also have 2 uncolored eyelashes, so all is well. Done. Now you can show what you got in macro shooting to evaluate the result. Well, we're done with this job. I'll be honest, it wasn't easy, although you would think it's just a regular eyelash. In all likelihood, a large number of beginner masters are afraid of this particular client. Because when your little eye jumps, runs, your eyelids are unruly, restless, it is very difficult to control them effectively. You do not know how to contact him. Just now you were observing, the main thing to remember is how to elongate these movements. We do not impose them on ourselves, but we calculate the money, immediately from your finished work. Just remember how to twist it. Apply a little bit of pressure on yourself. Apply a little bit of pressure on yourself. Alright, any disobedient eyelid will surrender to you without a fight. That is 1. 2. Do not rush. Let us not move quickly. 3. We do not choose a black pigment, but instead opt for one that leans towards warm tones if your client has cool undertones in their skin complexion. I hope that was productive for you. If you're a beginner artist and you're scared to work in this area, don't worry, Because if you're already doing permanent lip makeup, permanent eyebrow makeup, then of course you need some trio of products to be able to do the additional interlash space effectively and efficiently. Well, during the training, you can already learn how to do the small arrow that will increase your price. I was with Yulia Donchenko and you were on the Hanofi Colors Pigments channel. If you have any questions, feel free to write in the comments. We'll be happy to answer. Please press the bell icon, subscribe, and make sure you don't miss out on new videos that are released daily every hour on our channel. See you later. See you, folks.